You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.
Scorpio.
Good morning, Yankees universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Tuesday, March 11th. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, joined by the compañera this morning. I got the lovely Grace Monroe. Grace, how are you feeling this morning?
No, I'm okay, guys. Actually, y'all will be really glad that the show is today and not yesterday. That's all I gotta say. Yesterday, your girl was going through it. I already saw Nosebleed said it in the chat. What's up, Nosebleed? #1 VIP chat member. He's the one who actually broke the cold news today to me. Yeah. And I was like, what? I just got out of a massage. I mean, not even 5 minutes. Instantly, level 12 alarm. I mean, just the sky is falling, everything. But I had a whole night to think about it, Hector, to wallow in self-pity. I got some ice cream. Cookies and cream, and
I love the cookies and cream.
Yeah, this is so good. It made me feel better, and this morning, it's a brand new day. I'm ready to talk about Yankees baseball. It's not over, y'all. Hector, how are you feeling? I'm
feeling good. With the Gerrit Cole news, obviously it was a shocker for most Yankee fans. We'll get into that conversation. But listen, it's March 11th. I don't want to automatically cry and say the season is over. We still have a whole season to play, 162 games. But the Gerrit Cole news, the Gerrit Cole injury, it is alarming and it is shocking. I was in spring training last year when the injury news got announced that he'll be missing half of the season. And Yankee fans, it felt like a funeral. And I can just imagine what it's like right now in George M. Steinbrenner Field, because if last year was a funeral, this was the end of days with this news coming out yesterday. And I agree with you, Grace. If the show was yesterday, I would have probably been different with the way that I'm with my outlook of this situation, right? It is what it is. Apparently, the Yankees knew something was up. Gerrit Cole, he knew something was up last year. They said there was a slight tear in his UCL, and he pitched through it last year. And obviously, he pitched through it because the Yankees got Juan Soto, and it was just a one-year gamble on Juan Soto. So you want your ace to go out there, and he went out there and he pitched even with a tear in his elbow, right, or his UCL, whatever it was. He's an ace. Behavior. He's an ace. He's been one of the most durable, if not durable, starting pitchers in all of Major League Baseball. But nowadays in baseball, 9-year contracts with a starting pitcher, at some point during that contract span, they're going to go under the knife. And it just sucks that he went under the knife. That he's going to today.
This is his first Tommy John, which is incredible in and of itself. I mean, most pitchers have Tommy John before they even get out of high school now, maybe sometimes, maybe in college, but definitely they all have at least one Tommy John, if not two Tommy Johns. Yeah. So the fact that he's made it this far is a miracle. He definitely knew that this was coming. I think maybe he was trying to think positively and push it off and pitch through it and see if it could maybe be avoided. But let's be honest, y'all, he probably needed this last year. Like you said, Hector, he decided, no, I'm going to pitch through it. I'm going to keep going for my team. We knew the Gerrit Cole that we had last year was not the Gerrit Cole that we all knew. Exactly. Now, in the postseason, it was, because he gave us the last bit of his UCL. and last week, Hector, you asked me, what are you watching for this spring? What are you looking for in the spring games? And I said, I want to see Gerrit Cole. We watched his first start. As the biggest Daddy Cole fan, like, he's my favorite player. As his huge fan, I wanted to see with my own eyes that he was okay, because we knew what he pitched through last year, and we knew what he gave us in Game 5. He gave us everything he had left in Game 5, pitched a shutout through, the innings until, we all know what happened. But I wanted to see it with my own eyes that he was okay. His first start this spring, he looked fantastic. And I was like, oh, thank God. Then the second start happened. And I said to myself, something is wrong. And I don't know what it was. His velo wasn't down, but I could just tell. And the thing is, if you watch a player, for every start that they make for 7 years or however long, you can just tell. You can
pick it up.
Yeah. And I could see something was wrong. And I had this feeling and I pushed it down. I'm like, Grace, no, you're freaking out. You're freaking out. Hector, are you good?
Yeah, no. I was just drinking some water.
The injuries keep piling up. No, but yeah, I knew something was wrong. And then when we got the news that he was sore after and he was going for the MRI, I said, oh, no. But somewhere deep down, I knew. We all knew. If we're going to be honest with each other, we all knew this day would come.
Yeah.
So the great news is, Hector, we've already been through this. We went almost the entire season last year without Gerrit Cole. When he did come back, he got rocked. He got rocked for a couple weeks, right? I mean, he wasn't even himself when he came back, is what I'm saying. We managed our way through. And so now maybe we know the game plan of how to go about managing our way through without Gerrit Cole. We're going to have Professor Cole on the bench like we did last year. He's going to be right there with all the pitchers, working them on certain things and helping them all. This is the bright side. I don't know.
No, listen, I'm with you, Grace, trying to find a silver lining, right? We went through half of the season last year with Gerrit Cole. I'm not going to lie and say that it's going to hurt having to go through a whole season without Gerrit Cole. But like you said, Professor Cole will be on the bench this season, helping being a 2.0 or a second pitching coach to that starting staff. Let me shout out the chat before we continue the conversation. Our good friend Sean Browning is in the building. Sean Browning, how you doing? Crackle Nuts is in the building. My guy, Crackle Nuts, how you doing? I hope all is well. My brother, Anthony Medina, mi hermano de la Isla's in the building. My friend Tina's in the building. Tina, I hope all is well. Future, how you doing, my guy? Jacob Petruzzi keeping us on our P's and Q's, saying, let's do a roll call, Hector. Absolutely, Jacob. Shout out to my guy, Jacob Petruzzi. Stephen B is in the building. Steph, how you doing? John the Beagle Dad is in the building. My brother, Mr. Keith Saunders is in the building. L.I. Yankee King, the only troll I acknowledge in my world is L.I. Shout out to L.I. Stephen C is in the building. Grace and Hector, hope both of you are doing well. They would have just like to have to. We all have to keep our heads. We still have 162 to go. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to 162 games. FL Diver's in the building. FL Diver, how you doing? Good morning. Good morning. New York Yankee Mania. Appreciate all you guys in the building. If you guys can't, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And like always, we got a shout out Theo Nosebleed section in the building. I just want to let you guys know when Grace and I, we jumped backstage. Hold on, wait, let me do it. Richie Squires with the $5 super chat, helping us keep the lights on. Rich says Cole's velo was good, but the tall sign was he couldn't locate his pitches for anything. Cole always locates his fastball. Absolutely, Richie Squires. Yeah. No, you saw it in the last inning that he pitched in the World Series. Yeah, 100%. Just to let you guys know, when we were backstage, Grace and I, when we first got on, Grace, she didn't say anything, right? And I was trying to get a smile out of Grace, so I just played this music, and I think this is what Yankee fans, this is how we feeling right now. When it comes to the Gerrit Cole injury, when it comes to the Gerrit Cole news, Yankee fans, let's remember that we have 162 games. Let's remember that this front office still went out there and they signed Max Fried. We still have Carlos Rodon. We still have Clark Smith. I know he's dealing with injuries, but he will be coming back as well. I believe in Schmidt. I believe in Smith. I believe in Marcus Stroman. I believe in Will Warren. Will Warren has looked amazing so far in spring training. So there is some optimism, Yankee fans. I just want to bring this up real quick. My Hoodie Frazier on Twitter just put this out there. Gerrit Cole has been the most durable starting pitcher we've had in a long time. been dominant in the postseason for us since he became a Yankee. Won his Cy Young after the sticky stuff scandal. Leaves everything on the mound for the Pinstripes. We all knew it was coming, but losing our ace hurts. I can't believe we have to go a whole year plus without watching him pitch. Get well soon, Gerrit Cole. And I'm going to tell you real quick, as an emotional Virgo, Grace, when Gerrit Cole put his message out to the fans, a little tear fell, and this music was playing in the background. So I gotta say, folks in the chat, we got over 70 people rocking out with us. Like I said, if you guys can, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on Twitter, if you're watching on Facebook or Instagram, click the link in the bio and jump on over. We have a special guest backstage. Our good friend Dexter Henry is in the building. Dex, let me get a thumbs up. Let me know you're ready to rock out with the squad. Let me move this here and let's bring up Mr. Dexter Henry. Dex, how you feeling this morning?
Feeling good, man. I can't complain. Weather's getting warmer. We are trending towards spring. That means baseball's coming. So I'm good. How you guys doing?
Dexter!
Trying to survive.
Feeling great.
Grace, I'm a little surprised at the energy, Grace. I know you always bring the energy, but, considering the cold news, I thought you might be down a little bit.
Yeah, I was. I may or may not, but definitely did take a long bubble bath with a few tears fell, and I had to go get ice cream after to cheer myself up. I may or may not, but definitely did do that. Okay, but today is a brand new day.
I like the self-care. That's important, right? You got to make sure you have self-care going on, and I like the positive attitude. Right, it's not over. Sky doesn't have to be falling completely. It's tough news for the Yankees. I think we all expected it. I expected it, pretty much when I talked about it on Saturday with Dan Martin, my colleague at the Post. And I think there are going to be two camps. There are going to be Yankee fans that think the sky's falling. Look, this has been a spring training from hell for the Yankees. Let's just make no doubts about that. From this, Luis Hill, Giancarlo Stanton, who I think that's very iffy with him and what you'll get from him this season. Yeah, it's tough, guys. It's tough. I mean, I'm glad to see you guys are smiling. It's tough. Do I think it's over for the Yankees? No, I don't think so. And I think the Yankees will make some moves here. I do.
Dex, I'm gonna say, you know me for some time, and you're a good friend of me. Emotionally, I'm dying on the inside. Emotionally, I don't know. Like you said, there's some Yankee fans that are thinking that the sky is falling, right? That the season's over. But for me, we still have 162 games that we haven't even played one game yet. We went out there and signed Max Fried, knowing that something was wrong with Gerrit Cole. Like the front office, I think the front office knew something was going to happen with Gerrit Cole, whether it was going to be at the beginning of the season in spring training. At some point, he was going to have that Tommy John surgery. And I think they pivoted and signed Max Fried. And I was a bit surprised at first when they signed Max Fried. Now it all makes sense, knowing that the Gerrit Cole news came out and knowing that he opted out of his. That was a very weird situation when he opted out and then he opted back in like 2.5 seconds afterwards. Like the Yankees was like, bro, are you serious? You know there's something wrong with your elbow. Why are you doing this right now? So now that it's March 11th and hindsight is 2020, we could take a step back and critically digest the information. Now a lot of it all starts to make sense, Dex.
Yeah, I think that's a good point you bring up about the opt-out situation with Cole, right? Like it makes you think now, like he knew something, and the Yankees could have said, we know something too, and they could have said bye. And that's not how the Yankees operate, because they could have saved more money. They could have probably used that elsewhere. But look, Cole's been a workhorse for this team for years, and what he's given to the Yankees. And look, he'll likely, come back the middle of next season. We've seen other pitchers bounce back from Tommy John. We saw Justin Verlander a couple of years ago do it and win a Cy Young the next year. So he can bounce back. The Max Fried signing was huge, like you said, Hector. I liked the signing then, just because to bolster it, and you got to like it even more now. I think the concern, if you're a Yankee fan, with the rotation is it's not like there's a guy in that rotation that you have a ton of confidence, like you did with Cole when he's healthy, that won't either A, have any health issues, right? Because Fried's been having some of the forearm issues the last couple of years that has kept him out. You got Carlos Rodon, who, knock on wood, made it through last year fairly healthy. Can he do that again? Marcus Stroman, he's trying to bounce back and it could be motivated. I think he's a big wild card here.
Mm-hmm.
I think if he's motivated, he could be really fine. Then, Luis Hill, you're going to be without him for a little bit, but we know his talent. So now it's, okay, can Will Warren step into that fourth, fifth role on this team? Clark Schmidt, I heard you guys talking about, right? Him being back. There's some questions. Would you like another arm in there you really trust? Yes. Who's that going to be? Could it be talking to the Padres about a Dylan Cease? I don't know if they're willing to move him now. I think a lot of this is going to take shape. Could it be Sandy Alcantara down in Miami? But the price for him is going to be very high. And what are the Yankees going to be willing to give up for him? It's going to take a lot of prospects because he's on a friendly deal. He's got 3 years, $55 million left. I think the Yankees will do something, but Hector, you make a good point. It's scary and promising at the same time. The Yankees have not played a game this season. There's still a couple weeks left of spring training.
Yeah.
I know the pessimists are going to be like, Dex, spring training has not gone great so far. Bodies have been dropping. We are concerned. I know the Yankee fan just wants to get to opening day, and I understand that completely. But as you get to opening day, and as they play, and different teams, the market starts to take place, the Yankees, I think, will look to make some moves as necessary. And we haven't even talked about third base, which they definitely still need to upgrade, right? So, we'll see. Look, this is what I'll say to Yankee fans. If there are any Mets fans here watching, last year, at the end of May, you thought it was over, right? You thought it was over and things changed. Baseball is a long season. Guys can be motivated. Things can come together. People can step up. It's not over.
Yeah.
It's a long season. It is a down American League in which I thought the Yankees were the favorites already. Will the division probably be a little bit tougher? Yeah, I think so. But it's not over.
Yeah. No, I just want to say real quick, and I'll toss it over to Grace so she could chime in. But if you're Brian Cashman, right, every GM in Major League Baseball right now is expecting you to make a panic move with the Gerrit Cole injury, with the question mark that was already at third base, and with Giancarlo Stanton not knowing what's going to happen with his situation. You got some people saying that he's going to retire, he's going to have surgery. I don't know. It's all speculations. But if you're Brian Cashman, every GM is out there, especially if you're with the Marlins, if you're with the Cincinnati Reds, Kansas City, regardless of your team, you're waiting for Brian Cashman to call your phone and make a panic move. We know that there's a Yankee tax when it comes to trades in general. If you're Cashman, and we understand Brian Cashman operates in the way that he operates, he's not going to make a panic move on March 11th. He is going to sit back, let the guys that are in the starting rotation pitch, like you said, and when the trade deadline comes around, then you could see the field, see who's available. Then a Sandy Alcantara trade may not cost you as many prospects at the trade deadline that it would right now, March 11th. If you're the Marlins, you're trying to fleece the Yankees for all their top prospects, if you get what I'm saying. Sorry, Grace.
No, totally get what you're saying. You're right.
No, I agree. Hector, I was about to say the same thing. I wouldn't be surprised if Cashman laid back because we depleted our farm system so much last year making the trade for Juan Soto, which you make that trade over and over. I'm not saying we shouldn't have made that trade. You make that trade. I'm glad they did. It paid off. We went to the World Series. However, our farm system is depleted from that. We don't have a lot of top picks like the Orioles, like the Red Sox. We don't tank. We're steady in the playoffs, okay? So besides that, if we have maybe 1 or 2 trade chips left, he's not going to deal them in March. He will hold on to them and wait until the trade deadline or mid-season or something. When the price comes down, he's only got 1 chip to play. He's only got 1 Spencer Jones to move or 1 whoever to move. He's going to hold that card until the time is right to play it. I wouldn't be surprised if he did that at all. And we went into the season with Dom Smith, and we went into the season with Cookie Carrasco. We went into the season with these people and just saw what we had, see how the league fleshes out, and then he makes the move. I really, really wouldn't be surprised. And the thing is, we haven't lost we're still favored to win the American League, Vegas. However, it was the expectation, whether you want to say it out loud or not, that the Yankees were just going to breeze through the season, that the rest of the field was so far below, that the Yankees were so favored that it was going to be an easy path. And it's no longer an easy path, in my opinion. But we're not out of it. It's just not as easy of a path. We're still favored. We're still favored to win the American League East, which you can have a conversation now, right? Whether that should be true or not. However, before it wasn't really that much of a conversation. Now it is. That's the only difference. We still have a chance. Absolutely. So it's definitely not the end. I'm ready to start playing games.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dex. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I think Grace is right. And as she broke it down, because there's no need for Brian Cashman to play his hand right now. And both you guys alluded to, right? Everybody's going to know that you're desperate at this point. Brian Cashman did not get to where he is as a general manager for all these years by reacting to one injury or saying, playing this desperate. What he knows is that and I'll just put this the first 60 days, first 2 months of the season, there's an opportunity for guys to actually increase their value, right? So you can make a more friendly deal. You're right. You're right, Hector. The Yankees tax is always going to be out there. Teams are going to try to fleece them all the time. We understand what that is, but you want to be dealing from a position of strength. Right now, the Yankees would not be dealing from a position of strength. So time can change that. If the Yankees still get off to a good start, I'd love for you guys to have me back if we're in the middle of May and the Yankees are somehow 5 or 6 games up in the American League East, right? Which all sounds good, and things are looking good, and Marcus Stroman is pitching good, and you're like, oh, well, it's going to be better when we get Luis Gil back, and now that changes everything. And hopefully Jason Dominguez, Grace, I know you have big expectations for him. Hopefully he's hitting well and all this stuff, because that's the key. I think the lineup will be fine enough. I'm actually, even without Stanton, I'm not as worried about the lineup and the defense on this team. I think it's more of who's going to be available, and that's going to be the biggest key for the Yankees. If guys are available, if Carlos Rodon is available, if Clark Schmidt is able to pitch, if Marcus Stroman is motivated and able to pitch, which I actually think he will be, that bodes well for the Yankees, and I think that then that will allow them to possibly make a better trade. I don't know if it's going to be a top end starter, a mid starter, but I think it could be good. Look, and there's pressure on Max Fried. Max Fried is now going to have to be the ace of this team. We know he has the talent. It's just about also with him, he's got to stay healthy too. It really is about availability. If these guys are available, I think the Yankees will be fine. And I would ask Yankee fans, I'm going to ask you both this. Okay, I agree with Grace. It's not going to be the breeze that everybody thought it would be. But who scares you in the American League? Who's the team where you're like, oh man, I don't know. I don't know, guys. They might have it. Who's that team?
Yeah, and I'm right there with you, Dex, right? And no shade to the Boston Red Sox, right, or their fan base. I got a lot of friends. I got a lot of friends. I got a lot of friends that I've made on TikTok that are Red Sox fans, right? Now, Grace has her feelings, and I have mine.
I don't have no Red Sox fans. No friends that are Red Sox fans.
One thing I would say about is the same way how the Yankees starting rotation had their question marks, you see with Gerrit Cole and Luis Gil, the Boston Red Sox, they have the same question marks when you look at Garrett Crochet, who was a reliever before. Last year was the first time he ever pitched more than 100 innings. I think it was at 141, 144. So it's unrealistic to expect him, who's never pitched over 100 innings, to make a leap from 140 to 180 innings, including the postseason, throwing an extra 20 innings right there. That's a question mark. You got Walker Buehler as well. What is Brian Bello going to be after he struggled last year? So the same way how the Yankees have question marks, the Boston Red Sox have question marks. What are the Orioles going to be with losing Corbin Burns? How are they going to bounce back, right? So there's a lot of question marks in the AL East or just the American League in general, Dexter. A lot of people like to say say the National League is better than the AL. That's what it was last year. I'm going to keep on saying it until I'm proven wrong. So I'm not scared of the other teams in the American League. Could the Kansas City Royals step up and emerge as that young team that is scary to face? Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, the Yankees won the AL. The Yankees won the AL East. And until somebody dethroned them, I'm going to still be that arrogant Yankee fan.
Yeah, the champs are the champs. Like, look, I think you're right. The other teams in the American League East, which I actually think is probably the best competition for the Yankees, and the Red Sox and the Orioles, they'll still have something to say, but they have question marks too. Like you said, I think the Red Sox did some nice things this offseason. Mm-hmm. I think they're coming. I think your point about Garrett Crochet is a good one in the fact that not only is he going up in innings, he's now pitching in a market where he's expected to win.
Yeah.
And he's expected to deliver. And this isn't where he was pitching before. And the team he was pitching before, which wasn't good at all whatsoever. This is Boston, and Boston has expectations. And we've seen, whether it's Boston, whether it's New York, baseball markets where the fans are really hungry and starved for winning and expect winning. Not everybody can pitch there.
Yeah,
not everybody can pitch in Boston or New York. And we'll see how that goes. So nothing is in any season, any sport. Nothing is given. Injuries happen. Obviously, this is a tough one for the Yanks, but I think when you look at everything that's happened, including with Juan Soto and how the Yankees, I was a fan of what the Yankees did this offseason, actually. Mm-hmm. I think they set themselves up to be in a position where they're a deeper team. There should be better defensively. Still got a question at third base. All of us do, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I don't see why they still can't win the American League. I definitely don't see why they can't win that. They're still, to me, the favorites in my eyes to win the division. Look, we always say next man up in this stuff in sports, and when it comes to that, you got to be about it. The guys talk about it in the clubhouse. Mm-hmm. Next man up. We say this in every sport, but you know what? You'll know what a team is made of by who steps up.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's going to be a make and break season for a lot of guys that are on the New York Yankees. Like you said, Marcus Stroman, I know he's up there in age, but that's somebody that he's fighting for his life in Major League Baseball and his career in Major League Baseball, right? So that's somebody who has a chip on his shoulder. Cody Bellinger, a lot of question marks around Cody Bellinger. What is he going to look like in New York wearing pinstripes? Same thing for Paul Goldschmidt, who is up there in age, and some people are just writing him off, right? So there are a lot of question marks. Devin Williams, how is he going to bounce back after the polar bear Pete Alonso took him yard in the postseason? And talking about the Mets, I want to shout out Cheesy Soul Cakes in the building, who is a diehard Met fan, but he's always in here in the chat. Cheesy Soul Cakes, appreciate you. Christopher Cancel as well said, Mets fan here. First of all, let me give you my condolences to you guys about Cole. I wish him a speedy recovery. I understand what it's like because we went through it with the Karam a few years back. And yeah, that's a name that, if he's healthy, he's the best pitcher in Major League Baseball, in my opinion. But talking about injuries, right? There's a list of injuries, right? Shout out to Chris Kirshner from The Athletic. Garrett Cole, we know. Giancarlo Stanton, DJ LeMahieu, Luis Hill, Clark Smith, Jonathan Loizaga, Scott E. Frost, Jake Cousin, JT Brubaker, Clayton Beater, Tyler Mazik, and Chase Hampton. There's a lot of names on that list. Some of them more minor than the major names, but Giancarlo Stanton, DJ LeMahieu, Luis Hill, those are the three names I want to focus on real quick, Dex. And I want to ask you, when it comes to them, Giancarlo Stanton and DJ LeMahieu, what are your expectations with them? I know both of them are attached to money. Both of them are dealing with injuries. What's your thoughts on both Stanton and DJ?
The Stanton situation is it's tough because it's both elbows, guys. We're talking about both elbows. And I talked to Dan Martin about this the other day from the Post, and he was saying to me that, he's explaining to me about the PRP treatment and what the expectation is around him. And it's that if he can manage the pain well enough to swing the bat, he's going to try to play. Now, when both your elbows are that sore, and we know the power and the torque that Giancarlo Stanton comes with and brings, man, it's hard for me to see him doing this. Mm-hmm. And this is a situation where I want to be very clear. There's a possibility he could not play this year. There's also possibility this is something like this could really affect his career and playing forward down the road. And this is unfortunate because these injuries happen to guys who are now in their mid-30s like he is. It's a huge blow. I know he has not been the regular season performer that Yankee fans would like, but this guy's been great in the postseason. He's been fantastic in the postseason, and he's a huge asset to this lineup in terms of protection for Aaron Judge, especially with Juan Soto gone. So that's actually the injury that I'm really concerned about for the Yankees. If you can get anything out of Stanton this year, if he can come back, if he can play through this, if the third round of PRP injections take well, I think that's fine. Hector, I hear the other point you're bringing up with both him and LeMahieu and the fact that they're owed a lot of money. And it's like, what do you do from that?
Yeah.
The Stan injury, I will say, and LeMahieu, to me, maybe pressure isn't the right word, but it puts a lot on Jason Dominguez. Because for me, it's like, okay, you need him to be what you think he can be. Is that fair for him? And hopefully he's knock on wood, his first full season in pinstripes. Probably not. We've heard of his talent, but you need him to be solid in this lineup. He's going to be huge. What he does for this team, if he's as advertised and has a solid rookie season, that's going to bode well for this Yankees lineup. Now with LeMahieu, better chance that he'll better chance, I would say, than Stanton that he'll be back. You need something from him offensively. you definitely do. You need something from him offensively. How much time does he have left on his contract? I forget that off the top of my head.
Stanton, it's up until 2028, but the last year is a team option, right? So he's making 32 or 35 million this year. Next year it drops down to about like 19 million. The next year after that is 15, and then the final year I think is 15 as well, which is a team option that the Yankees could deny.
So that's friendly because it's declining, right? Like that's friendly for the Yankees. And LeMahieu, this is the final year of his deal, right?
I believe so. Let me just double check for you real quick.
I thought he had 1 year left. 1 year?
Hold on. It was a 6-year deal that he signed with the Yankees. Because of course Google's not working right now. He has 1 year left on the deal after this year. So it's this year and then one more.
Yeah, I mean, with him, this is going to be big. This is a big year for him in terms of showing his value. It's put up or shut up time with him. I think if he doesn't hit enough this year, I mean,
the first time he came to the plate, he got injured. The first time. The first time.
You're done with him, Grace. You're done.
The first time? Y'all, he can't do it anymore. I love him. I'm sorry. But come on. What are we doing?
Yeah.
It's sad. It's over. It's over for you with him. You're done.
I love him, and I thank you. And I'm not trying to be mean, but it's over. It's been over, buddy.
I'm not inclined to disagree with you.
It sucks. It sucks, and I wish it weren't true. And I understand them not DFAing him at this point today. However, you got to put the best players on the field to win the game. I don't care who you're paying. I don't care at all. You put the best players on the field to win the game. We're trying to win. That's it. And it should be that simple. It should not be, we're going to start this guy because we're paying him $18 million, and this guy on the bench who's better, but we're paying him the minimum, is not going to get a start because he's cheaper. That's bullshit. No. So if we're just looking for a guy, like Hector said the other day, if you're just looking for a guy who can hit like 250 and give you good defense, that guy is no longer DJ LeMahieu. That guy is Oswald Peraza. That guy is Oswaldo Cabrera. That guy is Everson Pereira. That guy is, I can name you a lot of other guys who could give you 250 with good defense that we have available. So I'm not trying to hear it. Not from you, Dexter, just from anybody to the front office. I just want to win.
Yeah, I get it. I just think for me, he, at just 35, 36.
35.
35. And
but he's a 40, 35. You know what I'm saying?
right. No. That's a good point, right? Because we've seen how his career's just been derailed with these lower body injuries, right? And so now this is what a grade 1, grade 2 calf strain.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are very hard to come back from because you got to get it right. You got to be able to run the bases, right? You got to be able to play the good defense in the infield that you want to see from him, especially if he's playing at the hot corner. So there's a lot there with him. You're right. He's 35, but it's like 40.
Yeah.
Right. That's a great point, Grace, because with all the injuries, I don't know what to expect out of him. You know, when I say show improve, it's not just the hitting. It's, can you be healthy? Can we count on you to stay on the field?
I'm gonna just say, as somebody that's 35, I feel personally attacked. I just want to say that. I just want to throw that out there. And
if you feel personally attacked, listen, Hector, I'm a little older than you. When you get older, you start feeling things, and you know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Well, I'm 18, so I don't know any of this.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely,
Grace.
I want to shout out the chat before we continue. I just want to respect Dexter time. Dexter, at any time, you just let us know whenever you got to dip out, and we'll definitely let you go out. But I want to shout out my good friend Nabila Parnell, who's in the building. Nabila, how are you doing? Listen, everybody, for you guys that don't know, Nabila, she is the boxing correspondent for Latino Sports. She does a lot of articles. She does a lot of interviews as well. If you guys are into boxing, make sure you guys go and follow my good friend Nabila. Dexter, this is somebody that I have to connect you with. Nabila, she does a lot of great boxing stuff, especially when it comes to Women History Month. We want to highlight the women who are in sports. My good friend Nabila is a great person that is there. I got somebody else that's backstage, our good friend Erica, who I meant to send the link earlier to Erica. I know she's backstage. I want to get her in on the conversation so she could join myself, Grace, and Dexter as well. So I'm gonna bring her up real quick. Erica, how are you doing? Good morning, my good friend. Sorry about having you backstage for that long. I apologize.
No, it's all right. I was enjoying the conversation. Good morning, Grace. Good morning. Nice to meet you, Dexter. Thank you for having me, Hector. Appreciate it.
Of course. Listen, for those that you guys don't know, Erica has a channel. That's Baseball Erica. Again, we're highlighting women in sports here at Uptown Sports TV. Erica is a good friend to the channel, a good Yankee content creator. Erica, let's get your thoughts on the conversation. We was talking about Stanton. You could talk about Cole for a little bit. You put out a great video as well on IG. I implore everybody to go check it out. Erica, let's get your take real quick as we continue the conversation. And folks, we got over 100 people in the building, over 60 people on YouTube. So just smack that like button and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead, Erica.
I don't want to beat a dead horse. I think that honestly, I was prepared for the Cole Tommy John surgery 3 days ago, even before it was announced. I kind of just ripped the Band-Aid off immediately, and went in with the expectation that this season is going to be, our ace is going to be Max Fried, and Carlos Rodon's going to be our number 2. Like that was my mindset, 3 days ago. But I'm just tired of all the negativity that I'm seeing. Everyone's ready to jump ship and call this season a wash. And like you guys have been saying, man, it's baseball. How many World Series have we seen where teams didn't have their ace and went deep or won the World Series? I mean, you're talking about the Dodgers, who had a stacked starting rotation last season, and they really went into the postseason with Yamamoto and Jack Flaherty, who they picked up at the trade deadline, right? And then they had bullpen games. So I'm not here to say that this season is a wash. I think this season is a season where guys are able to step up and really show out, especially the young talent. Derek Jeter, Posada, Pettit didn't get to where they were overnight. They had to build a name for themselves. So I'm hoping that we see that with Austin Wells. I'm hoping that Volpe, honestly, to me, this is his prove it year. If he doesn't show up this season, I think it's time to move on. But Volpe, Austin Wells, Jason Dominguez. I mean, it's a really young team. Even the guys that we picked up outside of Goldschmidt, Bellinger is very young. Like the entire left side of our infield or defense is under 30. So yeah, and we lost Cole last year, the first half of the season, and a guy like Heel had the opportunity to step up. So will that be Will Warren this year? Will that be Clark Schmidt? You know, so we got to see. Baseball's a long season. My thing is the Yankees have enough to stay afloat up until the trade deadline, and then that's when the pressure's on Cashman. Is he going to go all in and make the move, or is he going to sit on his hands? That's really what it comes down to.
I got two things. I want to highlight my guy Big Ant NYC with the $5 super chat, helping us keep the lights on. It might be time for the Yankees to revamp their entire training staff from top to bottom. The injuries have been happening for far too long. Yankees injuries with their medical staff, that's something that Yankee fans, we can have a conversation day in and day out, 24 hours if we have to. But this is what it felt like yesterday on the timeline, seeing Yankee fans crash out because of the Gerrit Cole news. So I just want to get some laughter in the air, but this is how it felt like watching Yankee fans crash out. Is my computer acting up? All right, hold on, wait, here it is. Wait, where's it at? It's not letting me bring it up. Well, anywho, never mind. For some reason, my computer is acting up.
I'll reenact it. No, I'm just kidding.
Hold on, wait. Let me see if I could. Oh. Never mind. This is awkward. Okay, anywho, so let's keep the conversation going. When it comes to the names that are on the list, right? Hold on, wait. Let me bring it up real quick. The names. You know, Mikey Rodriguez, he put it out there. According to his sources, not knowing his sources, Brian Cashman might consider pursuing Eric Fetty, Dylan Cease, Sandy Alcantara. Additionally, he could explore the possibility of reuniting Sonny Gray or Michael King. However, Aaron Judge has expressed a strong interest when it comes to Sandy Alcantara. I don't know about Sonny Gray. I don't know about Michael King. Dylan Cease, I think the asking price would be astronomical for Dylan Cease. I'm staying away from Dylan Cease. Sandy Alcantara, that's the name that I want Yankee fans to have on their radar, right? When the news got announced about the Gerrit Cole injury, the first name that came to my mind was Sandy Alcantara. When you look at Sandy Alcantara, like Dex said, this is the guy that former Cy Young winner. I know he was dealing with Tommy John. He had a surgery, but he's back in spring training, pumping the fastball 99 to 100 miles per hour. When it comes to Sandy Alcantara, Grace, I'm going to ask you first and throw it over to Erica and then get Dexter takes. What's your take on Sandy? Are you trading Spencer Jones for Sandy Alcantara, Grace?
First of all, I almost said, and y'all already know what's coming. Dexter's even laughing. He doesn't even hang around these parts, and he already knows what I'm about to say. I almost said, good morning, everyone, trade Spencer Jones. I swear to God. But then I was like, let me not come out straight with the heat. But look, trade Spencer Jones, but don't do it today. But that's what was that. Trade him this season, right? Now, if he takes his freaking trade value, I'll be so mad. I'll be mad. Listen, kid. Listen. I told y'all when he was going off in spring and everybody's like, oh, Spencer Jones looks amazing. Spencer Jones should make the roster. No. Let him bolster his trade value. Let him entice all of everyone. And then we trade that. Okay? That's what I would do. I would trade him for sure. Because I've seen how Joey Gallo plays in New York. And I didn't like it the first time around. So, yeah. I'm trading Spencer Jones.
Dexter, if you don't know the lore, Grace says Spencer Jones is the next Joey Gallo. If you was missing the lore from Yankees Morning Brew,
Dexter, write it down, and don't forget who said
it. Man, damn, Spencer Jones. Spencer Jones doesn't want to hear from you, Grace.
Sorry.
Erica, let's get your take on that. Shout out to our good friend Ra Ra. Shout out to Old Sarge in the chat as well. My good friend Old Sarge is in the building. I always got to play this music when Old Sarge is down in the chat. Go ahead, Erica. Let's get your take.
If the Marlins are willing to take Spencer Jones for Sandy Alcantara, you do that any day of the week. The problem is because Spencer Jones should have gotten traded for Corbin Burns last season, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. But
shots fired.
And I'm not saying he doesn't have upside. I'm just saying like you should have made that move last year. But let's be real. The shining star of the Yankees out of the prospects is George Lombard Jr. And people are going to ask for him. Whether that means Cashman gives him up or not, I don't think that he will, but that's what people want. And like you said, the Yankee tax, they'll go and take another team's 2 lower end prospects. But because Cashman didn't offer Lombard Jr., it's like a slap in the face to them. And they've been propping him up all spring training, even though he got pushed, he got
Reassigned. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the guy that everybody's gonna want. And at that point, do you make that move? You're not gonna see Lombard Jr. for 2 years. Everyone's talking about how he's gonna be on the team. People are talking about this year, talking about next year. I don't think he's gonna be on the Yankees for 2 years. So do you make that trade? That's the real question. Are you willing to give up Lombard Jr. for Sandy Alcantara? That I don't know. I can't give you the answer, but yeah, if they were willing to take a Spencer Jones and, you bundle a Jorge Vivas or a Roderick Arias or whatever, yeah, I think that makes a big difference because, like you said, the lineup is deeper this season. So right now you just have to make sure you got to prop up your starting rotation, to seal the AL East and that division entirely. So I would, if that's all it took, but I don't think that's all it's going to take.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dex.
Yeah, I'm with Eric on this. This is not going to take just Spencer Jones.
Yeah, way more.
There's no way that the Marlins don't ask for George Lombard Jr., who had himself a fantastic camp. He is the crown jewel right now of the Yankees farm system. Look, I think it comes down to what Erica said. They're going to ask for him, and you're not getting Alcantara without it. So it's going to take Spencer Jones. It's going to take George Lombard Jr., probably some other lower-level prospects. If I'm the Yankees, I do that deal in a heartbeat. Because here's my thing with prospects. Yeah, I see your face, Hector. I'm doing that deal. I'm doing that deal because are either of those guys likely to be as good as Alcantara is now, and also for what you need with this team right now? This is a win now Yankee roster. You've been trying to win. This is what you said. You got to almost to the top of the mountain last year. You weren't able to beat the Dodgers. Alcantara is a difference maker. You go out and do that deal. If that's the price, it is a steep price, but you got to do it. And it's going to be a little bit taxed to the Yankees. Now, with all that being said, this goes back to the point you made earlier. If you do the deal today, we're talking about today, March 11th, you do that, that is definitely what the asking price is going to be. I don't know what happens over the next couple of months. I don't know what happens in April and May. Maybe somebody else emerges that you're like, okay, this could be part of a trade chip that you go. Maybe they're so enamored with Jones, right? That they don't, I can't see them not asking for Lombard Jr. I just don't see that happening. But maybe you're able to get it a little bit lower in a couple of months. But Hector, I'm going to throw it to you. If this is the trade right now, and they say Jones, Lombard Jr., other prospects today, are you doing it?
Listen, Dex, I'm gonna have the same answer I had last year when Grace and I was having a conversation about trading George Lombard to Tampa for Yandy Diaz and Pete Fairbanks. No, George Lombard Jr. to me is if there's a prospect that's untouchable, it's George Lombard Jr. And I understand what you're saying, Dex. This is a win now situation. If Sandy Alcantara was a few years younger, didn't have the Tommy John injury, yes, absolutely. You make that deal. Sandy Alcantara is a little bit up there in age. He's close to the free agency. Then he has team control. He's coming off of that Tommy John surgery. So there's a question mark around Sandy Alcantara and his arm. Now, when you look at Dylan Cease, if you're San Diego, you're more warranted to request George Lombard than the Marlins because Dylan Cease is not coming off of Tommy John surgery the same way Sandy Alcantara is coming off of Tommy John. I get it. Sandy in his prime when he was healthy, he's won a Cy Young. Dylan Cease hasn't won a Cy Young. So I see the comparison on there, but it's hard, Dex. It is hard. It is hard. It is hard because I love George Lombard Jr. I've been following him ever since he was in high school. This is a kid that he fell into the Yankees' lap. He was committed to go to Vanderbilt. Scouts said that if he would have went to college for 1 year and came out in the draft, he would have been a top 3 pick in next year's draft. He grew up a Yankee fan with Aaron Judge being his favorite player, right? So that's why he decided to sign with the Yankees, which the Yankees gambled on. Sandy, as somebody just put it in the chat, Sandy's 29. That's literally 10 years older than George Lombard Jr. I see the argument about win now mode, and Grace is looking like she's mentally attacking me from her side of the screen right now. But
no, I'm not.
But if It's a very, very hard decision, Dex. And I'm more from the camp of you hold on to your prospects to see what they can do, unless there's a trade that presents itself that you just can't say no to, like a Juan Soto trade. To me, you can't say no. You got to trade whatever you can to get Juan Soto. I don't think Sandy Alcantara is at that level because of the Tommy John surgery. Grace, don't hate me. I still love you.
Hey, hug your girlfriend, not your prospects, right, Dex?
Say it again.
I said hug your girlfriend, not your prospects, right?
Yeah, I feel you.
I just want to throw in though, like, we only have so many years of Aaron Judge prime, and we've wasted a couple of them already. So if that, like, I'm thinking about it like that. Like, you make a lot of solid points with George Lombard, but with the win now situation, like, how long do we have this version of Aaron Judge? You know what I mean?
I agree, Erica, but here's my thing. If you address the rotation today, God forbid, and put a white light of protection and bubble wrap him 3 times around Aaron Judge. But if something were to happen to Aaron Judge, right, by the time we get to the trade deadline, our problem is no longer the rotation. Our problem is we got to replace Aaron Judge, right? So, like, it's like that whack-a-mole game, right? You address the rotation and something else pops up. Now you address that, something else pops up. So if you only have one George Lombard Jr. chip to play or one Spencer Jones chip to play, you're not going to play it in March. You're going to play it at the trade deadline when you have a better picture of the division, a better picture of the league, and a better picture of what is the last piece that you need to possibly give you that World Series run. Or you will know at that point, if this is a lost cause, we're not going to get there this year, so I'm not going to let George Lombard Jr. go. That's going to happen at the trade deadline, not now.
I agree.
But yes, but if there is the right package at the right time, emphasis on the right package. It's not going to be for a rental player, right? You're not going to trade in the 19-year-old George Lombard Jr. for a rental 2-month player to go to the postseason, right? But if there is the right package at the right time, I would move him.
These conversations are so interesting because us Yankee fans, we value our prospects way higher than other people, right? And when you look at top baseball prospects, top 100, George Lombard Jr. is like 94, 95, 96. The way that I value him, he's the best prospect in all of baseball. I don't care what anybody says. Sorry, Dex, I know you was going to chime in.
No. Grace's point about like the time for the deal is interesting. And then your point about Dylan Cease, right? The price for Dylan Cease is going to be a lot lower. Because I think this is the last year of his deal.
I'll look it up.
That he's going into. So the price for him is going to be a lot lower from the and I think the Padres are going to wait and see where they are in the playoff chase. That's why all this stuff has to play out. Now, if the Marlins are the Marlins,
got them.
They you know what I mean, they might be out of it by the end of April. So I'm not trying to no shade to the Marlins, but they might be, and they might try to recoup as much as they can for Alcantara, who does have a couple years left on his deal. Right. Ken, I see Kenny. You trade Lombard Jr., the Bronx will burn it. Will it? Really? like are fans really ready to storm Yankee Stadium because George Lombard Jr. is traded if they get Sandy Alcantara, who's got a couple years left on his deal? Hector, you're right. You never know how somebody's going to come back from Tommy John. Granted, we do have a lot of evidence lately. I'm talking about within the last 10 to 15 years, most guys come back to pitch well. I mentioned Justin Verlander earlier, who came back very late in his career and won a Cy Young the next year, which gives you a lot of hope for Gerrit Cole. There is a world where I think Sandy Alcantara is probably a better pitcher next year than he is this year in his first year coming back from him. But do I think he can help the Yankees? Yes. Eric, I think, makes another point that I agree with. Aaron Judge, and we know a lot has to do with Aaron Judge hitting in the postseason. You got to maximize these years for him, right? And how much do you have left of him right now in his prime? Maybe 3? Is George Lombard going to be part of maximizing the time for Aaron Judge? That's the question I'm asking. Probably not.
No. And I think the last time we spoke, the one thing that I was worried about, Dex, was did the Yankees use up all the magic from Giancarlo Stanton? Was the magic from Giancarlo Stanton, his postseason runs, is that over? And it sucks to say right now, I don't think we'll see that version of Giancarlo Stanton ever again. And it sucks to say it because Giancarlo Stanton was a superhero in the postseason. He turned into not even Captain America. He turned into the Silver Surfer, how good he was in the postseason. If you understand comics, you get the reference. But anywho, Big G, I just hope whatever happens with Giancarlo Stanton, if he gets the surgery, he gets the surgery. I don't think the Yankee fans could expect him to contribute to a big part of this season, yet alone the postseason. I don't think Giancarlo Stanton, if he does come back, copy. That's great for us. But I don't think you should expect Giancarlo Stanton to make or break out postseason run.
I agree. I definitely agree. I think, which is a huge blow for the Yankees, and I think also puts pressure on Aaron Judge if the Yankees get to the postseason, where it's like, all right, it's time for you to step up, bro, in the postseason, right? And Yankee fans have been waiting for that. I think it will happen for Aaron Judge. I think these superstars where they struggle in the postseason, we saw this with Barry Bonds. We saw this with A-Rod. Aaron Judge is too good to not break through. He's just too good. I just don't believe that. Now, to Erica's point, you got to maximize the years, and it is now or never for him. There's a lot of pressure around the Yankees with this in the next couple of years to get this done with Aaron Judge as the best player on the team. And that's kind of why I'm like, you don't want to make rash moves, but if you can get an Alcantara that can bolster that rotation, and there's a world where, again, I think the Yankees team is probably actually likely better next year than there is this year. I know nobody wants to hear that. Everybody wants to hear about this year. I've been saying this with the Knicks, and everybody gets mad at me. But I think that's kind of the case with the Yankees, especially what you mentioned, Hector, with Giancarlo Stanton's injury, with Gerrit Cole's injury, we just talking about we don't know what the hell you're going to get from DJ LeMahieu. You don't know if he's going to be on the field. I think if you can make smart moves to go for it. Look, if the Yankees went and got Dylan Cease, I think that's a fine move too. He doesn't have the high end, I think, of Alcantara if he pitches to his maximum performance, but it's a fine move. It would help bolster that rotation. I think the Yankees will do something. I think we all agree on this. It's not going to be rash. They're going to do something, and it's going to have to be the right deal. But for me, with prospects, I get it. You're right. Fans are always going to overvalue the prospects on their team more than everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
But prospects are exactly what we call them, prospects. It's not guaranteed they're going to be good in the majors. We've watched, all of us have watched sports long enough. Can't miss prospects, and then they get up to the majors, and it's like they missed, right? So you never know. It's a gamble, and it just depends where your franchise is now, what you're trying to do in terms of winning.
Yeah, so I have that video queued up, and I want to throw to Erica afterwards. But not only was this how Yankee fans felt on the timeline, this is how I felt not being able to pull up this damn video. So this is how Yankee fans were yesterday on the timeline. I'm in the car right now. I'm doing 90 on the freeway. I'm drinking with the vodka. You think he's fine? And that's how it felt. Me trying to get that video up earlier, trying to play it. But no, when you look at it and seeing Yankee fans out there, again, like I said, Yankee fans, go outside, touch some grass. The world is not over. Brian Cashman, he's a Hall of Fame general manager for a reason. I know a lot of people don't like when I say that. We know on opening day, the lineup and the starting rotation that is out there for the New York Yankees will be different than it is in the postseason. Erica, I want to toss it over to you. And then Dex, I want to get your last takes before we let you go, because I know you have a life to live, and I appreciate you taking time out this morning. Always appreciate my good friend Dexter Henry. Go ahead, Erica.
All I'll say is that when it comes to prospects, we have had tons of prospects that we could not trade year over year over year. Gary Sanchez, where's he at? Miguel Andujar, where's he at? Where's Clint Frazier at? We held on to all these guys and didn't make the big move. And I think if the big move is there for you at the trade deadline, it's going to be very telling on where his brain is at, depending on what he does at the trade deadline. But I also am annoyed that we're even in this position, because those two injuries sounded like we've known about them since last year. I mean, we knew about Stanton's elbows. He was playing through it. We've known about that. So why don't you make the moves before it's panic mode? DJ LeMahieu, we all said he's going to get injured again. And what was it? How many at-bats was it, Grace?
Yeah. 1.5. 1.1.
So now we're put into a position where I think go ahead and give.
I think it was 3 swings. Let's go there.
Yeah. Like give Frost a shot at this point, but you could have made the move prior to it being a panic situation. And same thing with Cole. Cole had a tear in his UCL last season. There's no way that he didn't, even if it was a slight tear. And he couldn't pitch through it. I think he said that he tried to change his mechanics a little bit to try to pitch through it, and that probably affected him. So like that's why he made the Max Fried move. Like, don't you think it's a little bit weird that they went out and grabbed Max Fried? It was such a surprise out of left field. So it makes you wonder, like, did they know about it? So I don't know. I just hate when their backs are against the walls when they have to decide to like kick back, and then we end up losing out in the end because we have to give up our big name prospects. Whatever.
Senor Dex, let's get your final takes and we let you get out for the day.
Yeah, my final takes are it's I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be okay for the Yankees and their fans. I understand why people are jumping out the window because New York sports fans do that. I've seen this time and time again, but it's a long season. Baseball of all sports, I always say it's such a long season. I brought up the Mets last year. You could find despair at one point in the season. If you would have told Mets fans they would have been in the NLCS last year, May, they would have told you you're crazy. Don't even add on top of the fact that you would have told them about signing Juan Soto. They would have said, oh, that's crazy. So who knows what this Yankee team looks like in June, July. You have no idea. And I think it's imperative. I do think it's imperative to get off to a good start. I will say that. I think getting off to a good start, I think seeing some guys step up. I have this good feeling Marcus Stroman is going to step up. I think it's about those guys being healthy. If they can just be in a good position by the time Luis Gil gets back, it's fine. Will they probably have to tweak some things with the lineup? Yes, because I know Grace does not trust DJ LeMahieu. She doesn't want to see DJ LeMahieu anymore. I understand all that. I'm with that too. You can't count on him. And the Yankees still have some holes to fill, but I think if they get off to a good start, the asking price on some of these trades, whether St. Louis looks to trade a Nolan Arenado, whether Miami looks to trade a Sandy Alcantara, or San Diego with a Dylan Cease, I think those are some names you can see come up. And if the Yankees are off to a good start and those other teams are out of it, well, the price might come down a little bit. It might be a favorable trade for the Yankees. So what I say is keep the faith, Yankee fans. It's going to be okay. The sky's not falling. I think you have a good general manager who's done some good things this offseason. Hopefully Hal Steinbrenner will want to put in the resources to add money to the payroll and take it from there. That's what I do. It's gonna. I'm not saying everything's gonna be great. I'm just saying it's gonna be okay. I don't think it's as bad as some people are making out to be. It's not good. It's not ideal, but I don't think the sky's falling.
I just want to point out how Dexter had to just throw in and remind all the Yankee fans that Juan Soto is a Met. He on his last words out of here, he had to remind all of us Yankee fans that Juan Soto is a Met. Thank you so much, Dexter.
Wait, can I ask you a question, Hector?
Go ahead, brother. Again, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, Dexter, we love you.
The world to me, Dexter. Go ahead, bro.
No problem, brother. My question is for all of you guys. I'm very intrigued to hear what you guys think. Are you bothered by the fact the Mets are doing this little short documentary about Juan Soto? Okay, I
didn't even know about it.
I'm not bothered by it. Again, at the end of the day, it's all about generating clicks. It's all about generating views. And with the New York Mets, you would be a fool not to put anything out like this when it comes to PR, when it comes to outreach to your fan base. So I'm not upset about it. I know some Yankee fans are upset about it. It's the same Yankee fans that were upset about the Aaron Hicks tribute video that the Yankees gave him when he came back to the stadium, right, with the Orioles. I'm not upset about it. I've seen some people crash it out on the timeline. It was hilarious.
I have too. It was hilarious. I was watching some of it yesterday. I was seeing some people. And I'm like, guys, it's not that serious. I'm excited for the Subway Series this year. I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun. I can't wait. When Juan Soto comes, are you guys going to be part of the people booing Juan Soto when he comes to Yankee Stadium?
No,
you're not booing him. Okay?
I'm not booing him.
I respect that. I'm not about that energy. Grace, you boo him if you're at the stadium?
No.
She gonna be booing from Texas.
No. I would not boo him. But
yeah, I knew that was coming.
But I might laugh a little bit that other people are booing him. So I don't know. You call that an enabler, but I'm not gonna boo him. But I might just be like,
Should be supportive of other people who's booing him, if that makes sense.
I understand. That's all the questions I have for the Yankee fans out there. That's it. That's all.
Dex, I appreciate you, my guy. Definitely, I look forward to this baseball season. I look forward to talking to you more as well. I'll be there for the Mets opening day, working media with Latino Sports. Yankee Stadium, I'll just be there as a fan. I need to be with the Bleacher Creatures opening day, opening weekend. But I will be there for both Mets and Yankees. So you let me know whenever you're there, brother.
I will see you definitely Mets opening day. I should be there, and likely for Yankees opening day too. Mets open on the road, but I should be there for both. Erica, pleasure meeting you. Give you a follow. I always need more women to come on with me to talk baseball, so I will be reaching out to you. Pleasure to meet you and good seeing the work you do. Grace, always a pleasure. You will be on with me too this season. Hopefully not booing Juan Soto. And Hector, you already know. Hector, you already know, bro. You'll be on with me as well too. So I appreciate
Dexter.
it.
I appreciate like always, Dexter. Until next time, I'll holler at you, Dex.
Peace, guys.
Later. Bye. That was our good friend Dexter Henry. Again, thank you so much for taking time out this morning. Dexter is a busy guy. He juggles a lot of hats, right? When it comes to SNY, the New York New York Post, and when it comes to Fox Sports as well. So I appreciate Dexter taking time to have this conversation with us. Something that I want to bring up, because this is something that us Yankee fans can crash out on, right? I don't want Dexter to like get in trouble with his job, anything like that, but we could crash out on this because talking about the Yankees and their money, a little tweet came out yesterday and today. Erica knows what I'm talking about. So according to the rumors out there, according to Forbes, the Yankees, they set a franchise record with 411.7 million in ticket and luxury suite sales for 2024. That's a 39.8% increase from 2023. Their World Series run boosted revenues by 101.9 million, and they drew 41,000 fans, more than the previous season. So when the Yankees talk about finances and money and not having the money to spend, where is this money going to then? Why can't we go out there and address the needs that we need to address? Like Erica said, why are we waiting to the 12th hour, to 11 o'clock at night to start panicking? Why aren't we addressing the issue before it becomes a panic mode? Like Erica said, they knew about Giancarlo Stanton dealing with his injuries last year and in the World Series. They knew about Gerrit Cole's injury last year, knowing that it was a tear, and at some point he was going to go under the knife. I understand they pivoted and they signed Max Fried, not addressing the third base situation. I don't expect them to go out there and find a full-time DH, another Giancarlo Stanton, but not addressing the third base situation, knowing that Stanton was a ticking time bomb with his elbows, knowing that Gerrit Cole was a ticking time bomb and his arm. That right there is front office negligence at its highest. Grace, what's your thoughts? And then toss it over to Erica.
Y'all, okay, here's my thing. Statistics like this can be misleading, okay? Because things cost more now than they did back then. So when you say, oh, they made more money than they ever made before, it's like, yeah, they make more money every year because every year tickets cost more and everything costs more and inflation and whatever you want to say, right? So when you just say a blanket statement like that, you have to take it in context of how much things cost and what you know what I mean, the value of the dollar and all that stuff. So for me, that can be a little bit misleading, first of all. Second of all, when you say, oh, they brought 41,000 more people to the stadium than last year. Well, first of all, they played 15 more games at the stadium than they did the year before. And we were out of the postseason a month.
No, that's what they average. That's what they average per game, 41,000 per game.
I thought they said 41,000 more than last year.
No. It was their World Series run boosted, and they threw 40,000 more. Oh, fans. Well, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I read it wrong. My apologies.
No, you're good. I'm just saying those types of statistics can be misleading. So yes, did they make a lot of money? Of course they made a lot of money. They tried to give Juan Soto the most money of all time. He didn't want it. I mean, they tried to do things. They went out and they signed Max Fried. Now I'm here defending Brian Cashman again. This is not the position I want to be in. But I'm just saying that these types of blanket statements, you have to think about them, critically and not just get angry about something right off the bat, because that's what they butter knife these statistics in to do, to get you to click on something, to get you to react, whatever. So what I'm not saying that we shouldn't go ad, okay? But what I am saying is there isn't a perfect ad right now. There's not a perfect place to go spend our money right now. There was a perfect place to spend our money. That was Juan Soto. We tried, and he didn't want to come. There was another perfect place. There was Sasaki. We tried. He didn't want to come. There was another perfect place to spend our money, Max Fried, and we did give him a lot of money. The highest left-handed contract of all time we gave him. So yes, I agree. I want to do things and I want to win. But at the same time, there are times to get angry and there are times people are just trying to rage bait the Yankees fans. And I think that this is one of those times, in my personal opinion. Erica?
How dare you bring logic into this? Okay?
How dare you think logically, Grace?
Take the emotional stance on here. And I'm going to say that I understand that they have to pay for their own stadium. I understand that this is not their hobby and this is actually their business. Unlike a guy like Steve Cohen that has money to blow, But when you pay into your team, you get it back, right? If the Yankees win the World Series, they're going to make a lot of money. So just spend the money. So that is my irrational take. Thank you very much. That was good.
That was a little role play switching for y'all.
$100 million, please. Don't worry about no luxury tax. Who cares? Money isn't real.
Yes, here at Yankees Morning Brew, not only do we talk baseball, but we do improv also, right? That was total improv work that Erica and Grace did together. No, I'm with you, Grace, and that's why I set it up like that, so you could be the logical Yankee fan in this conversation. Yeah. And yes, when you on face value, when you read the headlines, automatically it is going to generate rage. It is going to generate people to be upset and automatically be in the comment section, because that comment section, that thread is, oh my God, it's hilarious. I advise you guys to go look. Also block some people too, because some people are showing their ass in that thread. But that's why I don't go on Twitter. But what I will say is, when it comes to the Yankees' finances, it's not that the Yankees don't want to spend money, right? How Steinbrenner wants to spend the money. The issue is not that the Yankees don't want to spend money. The issue is the other teams in Major League Baseball, the teams that are on the bottom that suck on the luxury tax revenue and that luxury sharing system, right? The issue is the Pittsburgh Pirates. The issue is the Tampa Bay Rays, the Oakland Athletics, the Chicago White Sox, the teams that are on the bottom that do not pay, but they take money from the Yankees. They take money from the Dodgers. They take money from the Mets. And if I'm Howard Steinbrenner, I would be livid also that I have to spend $140 million on top of my payroll. So basically $300 on top of $140, because that's a luxury tax penalty he paid last year. I have to spend $440 million on my team's payroll to operate, but a team like the Pittsburgh Pirates, whose payroll is now no more than $40 million, they got about like $50 million from revenue sharing, which means they pocketed $10 million. And the Yankees and the Mets and the Dodgers, they're paying for their players' salary while the Pirates are pocketing profits. If I was Howard Steinbrenner, I would be upset. I understand I don't understand the frustration, but I get the frustrations from Howard Steinbrenner not wanting to spend money because these other teams are pocketing it on top of the profits that they're already making from their team, if you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. There shouldn't be a price on my happiness. Spend whatever you want, give however much you need to the little guys. I want a World Series and I want to be happy. So if that means an extra $140 million, I don't care.
There you go.
That's hilarious. Now, last topic before we get out of here. Shout out to my guy, the Ace Avenue. Also, we got 130 people rocking out with us. There's still 60 people on YouTube. We're sitting on 43 likes. If you guys can't smack that like button, let's try to get to at least 50 likes on YouTube. We're at 4,865 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button. Help us get to 5K. The last topic that I want to talk real quick before we get out of here. The Giancarlo Stanton. Do you guys think he's done for the season? Like, what's your expectation when it comes to Big G? Erica, if you want to start first because you're shaking your head, yeah, and then throw it over to Grace.
I think he's done for the season. I mean, to have to deal with that in both elbows is a lot. My husband just got PRP injection in his shoulder, and he only needed 1 round of it, and after 2 weeks, he felt fine. The fact that they've put 3 I don't know the details if it's been 3 PRP shots in both elbows over the course of the last like 2 weeks, but that's a lot. That means that it's not working. So I don't think that he's coming back this year. And I don't and like Dexter said, honestly, this can be career threatening because again, both elbows, the way that he swings with his upper body, like he adjusts, and he's saying that it was the adjustment for his swing that he made last year that could have caused this. So I don't know, it just doesn't look good. A lot of negativity.
My thing is, it's both elbows, bro.
Right.
It's not like it's one elbow and let's get it to where I can go ahead and swing through the pain. It's both elbows. So it's double the risk, double the chance that he's not going to be able to play through it, double everything, right? So it could be that he heals one of them and the other one is still stuck. He can't play. I mean, it's just double bad, double whammy, whatever you want to say. So because of that, I don't expect him to come back. This is what I think is going to happen. They told him, hey, how long is the recovery from surgery? And then he goes, oh, 6. They said 6 months. They said, all right, then I might as well wait, see if it works. If so, I'll play the rest of this year. If not, I get the surgery, 6 months is spring training, and I'll be back anyway. So there's no reason for him to get the surgery today. He's going to miss the rest of the year. There's a reason for him to wait, see if it works, just pray, you know, that it might work. There's a reason to take that risk because there's still a chance that he could play at the end of this year. But if it doesn't work, get the surgery, and still he'll be back for next season with the Marlins picking up part of his salary. But before we go, Hector, after you comment on Big G, I want to talk about positivity. And I want to talk about the spring training game yesterday.
Oh, yeah. No, copy. Yeah, I forgot.
Give your Big G take. I
forgot we was going to.
Yeah. I got something to say.
That's on me. I just want to say real quick to answer Erica's point when it comes to Giancarlo Stanton. It's his 3rd rounds of PRP injection, which makes me believe that it's on both. They don't say each, but the way that they're saying it, it makes you believe that it's both, right? So when it comes to the PRP injections, just like your husband had, if somebody gets, if it's a severe injury like Giancarlo Stanton, you get 3 to 5 PRP injections, right? Normally it's 3 PRP injections. Again, WebMD, so just take that with a grain of salt. Here it says the number of platelet-rich plasma PRP injections you need depends on your condition and their desired outcome. Most patients with severe injuries need 3 injections spaced between 4 and 6 weeks apart. So that makes me believe with what WebMD is saying and the timeline for Giancarlo Stanton's injury that before spring training is when it started hurting first. That's when he got his first round of PRP injections. And then after it came out that he went back to New York, that was his 2nd round of PRP injections. And right now he had his 3rd round of PRP injections and there's no improvement, which means he's going to have to go to at least 2 more rounds that are spaced out 4 to 6 weeks apart. And after his 6th injection, up here on WebMD, it says after the 6th injection, if there's no improvement, surgery is highly recommended. Again, highly recommended, and this from WebMD is the source.
There you go.
Yeah.
Again, take it all with a grain of salt because you could WebMD some shit and you could think you have cancer, but it's just a bite.
I just wonder if he was rehabbing it like immediately after the World Series or not, like, or if it was just like, oh, this will wear off. I mean, if he was dealing with it for, I don't know how long last season he was dealing with it, but like, you didn't address it immediately. That's kind of crazy.
It's kind of what Brian Cashman alluded to. He kind of alluded to the fact that this was new information to him. He seemed pissed.
You look upset.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if that's posturing or whatever to maybe take the heat off of him a little bit. But who knows, right? We'll never know. We're on the outside. We're just suspicious little, people running around trying to come up with theories. But on a lighter note,
go ahead.
I want to talk about some hope. I want to end today's, y'all. I know everybody came here today thinking that Daddy Cole's biggest fan was going to be crying and everything. I did. I cried last night. I'm not even going to lie. I cried last night, but I'm okay. Here's what I wanted to talk to y'all about. After the Gerrit Cole news hit, I finished the spring training game. I had to leave in the middle of the game, so I came back and watched the rest of the game late last night. And let me tell you a little something. The Yankees said, Grace, baby, I got you. How about a 10 spot? Okay? Here, how about an Austin Wells leadoff home run? How about, let me just assuage your worries right now, okay? So let me talk to y'all a little bit about what happened yesterday in the spring training game. Yankees put up 10 runs, okay, on the Detroit Tigers, a team that went to the playoffs last year, okay, and went to the division series, okay? So Gleyber, first of all, let's say Gleyber came back home to George M. Steinbrenner Field, and the crowd gave him a nice round of applause, okay? It wasn't a standing ovation, but it was a nice round of applause, and you should have seen Gleyber's face. He just smiled. It meant so much to him, and I was like, good, Gleyber, that's it. You're done. There's a little round of applause and you're done. But anyway, nice little moment, classy little moment. Classy little moment there. But anyway, leadoff home run, Austin Wells, okay? Then Clay and Judgy struck out. Then Goldie hits a home run, Oppo, over the right field wall, which, as we know, is very important going forward, that he learns how to do little porch jobs like that. It's huge. Then Trent Grisham hit a home run. And by the way, don't get me started on Trent Grisham's defense yesterday in the outfield. Because in case you guys didn't watch, they had Cody Bellinger in left, they had Trent Grisham in center, and Aaron Judge in right. And let me tell you a little something. I think it was the third inning, or I don't remember, but it was, anyway, it doesn't matter. There was an inning where Grisham ranged to his right, made an incredible diving catch. The next batter, he ranged to his left, same thing, diving catch. And I looked at my husband, I said, this is Gold Glove defense. Gold Glove defense, right? I call him Fort Worth because he's from Fort Worth, which is not that far from me. Shout out to the Texas boys. But I said, that's Fort Worth. That's Fort Worth right there. Gold Glove defense. I don't want to talk about the fact that Jason Dominguez did not play in the outfield yesterday. And don't bring it up. I know I just brought it up. Don't bring it up. I don't want to talk about it. This was a Gold Glove outfield. I know Aaron Judge doesn't have a Gold Glove yet, okay, but he should have. But he's over there. And then Gold Glove. Goodbye. It was amazing. Anyway, I'm digressing. Dom Smith hit an incredible 2 RBI double. He looked totally gassed by the time he got to second base, but hey, he nailed it. But here's what I want to talk about, y'all. This is the most important thing I want to talk about. Because I was watching and I noticed this and I said, oh, this year gonna be different. Okay? In the bottom of the 5th inning, Aaron Judge comes up to bat, right? He sees some balls, he does some swings, he works a deep count, and then he walks, okay? So Aaron Judge gets on. Next guy up, Cody Bellinger. He sees a pitch, doesn't swing, ball. Sees a pitch, doesn't swing, ball. Sees a pitch, doesn't swing, ball. Now he's in a 3-0 count. He has not swung the bat. And I said to myself, I wonder if Cody's going to have a green light here or if he's going to take it. Pitch comes down. He did not swing. It was a strike. Okay, so now I'm in a 3-1 count. And I'm like, I wonder if Cody Bellinger is going to take this guy out right now. What's he going to do? Here's what I want to talk to y'all about right now. The next pitch comes. It was a ball Cody did not swing, and he walked. He walked on 5 pitches, never swung the bat. So I'm sitting here watching this, and I'm like, oh my God, that was an incredible at bat. He was disciplined. He played for the guy behind him. He wasn't selfish. He didn't try to take that 3-1 ball out of the yard and just see what happens. He was a professional. And you know what my husband said to me? I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, that was amazing. You know what my husband said to me, casual? He goes, Cody Bellinger's the MVP. Just like that. And I was like, you're right. So now we had MVP Aaron Judge on base. We had Cody Bellinger MVP, just take a walk. And then who'd we have up? Paul Goldschmidt, MVP. What'd he do? Walked. 3 MVPs on base, loaded the bases. Boom, boom, boom. MVP, MVP, MVP. And then who comes up next? Trey Grisham. Hits a sac fly, scores a run. And I was like, oh, this year's going to be different. Y'all, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. Like, it's not over. The fact that we have these time-tested, playoff-run, classy, veteran, most
professional at bats, like you said, professional at bats. Been there, done it. Yeah.
Yes, situational hitting, professional at bats, playing for the guy behind you, batting the guys around, bringing the runners, like moving the runners over, bringing the runners in. It's old school, classy, disciplined ball. That's what we're going to see.
It's 90s baseball, right? The one thing I'm going to say, when you look at the top of the lineup, our 1 through 5, solid. Those who you want up at bat. I just want to say real quick, and I'll throw it over to Erica. Austin Wells as a leadoff hitter and 18 plate appearances in spring training. Granted, spring training, take it with a grain of salt. 353 average, 3 home runs, 882 slugging with a 1271 OPS as the leadoff hitter for the New York Yankees. Erica, let's get your take real quick before we get ready to wrap things up. Let's get your take when it comes to yesterday's games and the points that Grace was making.
No, absolutely. I was watching the game as well, and yeah, so we were kind of saying the same thing last year in the beginning of the year. We're like, this is perfect. Like, I forget who was leading off at the beginning. Who was our leadoff at the beginning of the year? Was it Verdugo?
Volpe?
No, not Volpe. It was Verdugo to start the season.
I don't know, but it was working because it was like, oh, look, Verdugo, I don't know, I guess hit. Juan Soto works the walk like he does, and then Judge comes in and brings him in or whatever. But then after Judge, you didn't really have anything, right? Because Stanton, he has his ebbs and flows. So now this is a much deeper lineup. But it's always, to me, come down to the bottom of our lineup, the 7, 8, 9 guys. And those are the guys that I'm continuing to say that, like, they need to be the ones to step up, and they need to be the ones to have these prove-it seasons. A guy like Volpe, I want to see what Jazz Chisholm is, a full season of him. Who else is down there? Sorry, I'm blanking. But yeah, I mean, as long as we have somebody down there in the 7, 8, 9 hole that can continue it, keep it going and get us back to the top of the lineup, I think it'll be good. I think offensively we'll be fine. When everything was healthy, I do think that we still needed to address our third base situation, offensively and defensively, honestly. But at this point, just give Peraza the shot. So yeah, I'm excited to see what the season's going to play out and look like. That's why I'm not ready to give up. I mean, I think there's just so much potential and excitement to be seen here. I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on Goldschmidt. I think that, he is only 2 years removed from his MVP season, but if he doesn't become the MVP Goldschmidt, it's okay, guys. We just needed a little bit extra depth. We're still in a better position with him than we were with a post-concussed Anthony Rizzo. So, so Grace's point, it was professional at bats. It's nice to see 3 MVP guys go up there and work walks, and hopefully it continues into the regular season. So we'll see what happens. It's 162 games.
I stand corrected. I forgot. Everybody's favorite Yankee was a leadoff hitter, Gleyber Torres. Last year's opening day starting lineup, it was Gleyber Torres leading it off, Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Anthony Rizzo, R.I.P. Anthony Rizzo, Anthony Volpe, Alex was starting third baseman last year. Listen, when it comes to Anthony Rizzo, it sucks that it didn't work out here towards the end. He was a great Yankee. The stuff that he did off the field were amazing. He was great in the clubhouse. I have an Anthony Rizzo jersey. The calzone was awesome. And his time in the Bronx, again, injuries happen. I wish Anthony Rizzo all the best and his career after Major League Baseball. But I got a video that I want to share because you brought up Dominic Smith. And I got this last video, a little hee ha ha. If you guys watched Captain Planet as a kid, you guys will get this reference.
Go for a team beam and fast. Let our powers combine. Earth, fire,
Wind. Water.
by your powers combined, I am Captain Planet. Go!
And that is what it looks like with Dominic Smith. It looks like he will be the savior for the New York Yankees. He's had an amazing spring training, right? Granted, it is spring training, so again, make whatever you want out of it. But when it comes to somebody getting an invitation to spring training, making the most out of his opportunity, working in the offseason to better himself, right? When it comes to his physical capabilities, he's been working with a track and field coach because the Mets had him at first and in left field, so he's trying to be versatile. Dominic Smith has done everything you could want for a spring training invite. If he wins the job at DH, if he's a part of this roster opening day, I welcome it. So far, he looks good. That lefty swing looks like it's going to work well in Yankee Stadium. I can see a situation where you got a platoon at the DH spot with Dominic Smith Jr., and if Everson Pereira can give you something, you could DH both of them and a platoon lefty-righty situation.
I would not be shocked at all if he made the team. He's had a great spring. He's proven that he could be valuable to the team and specifically what we need right now, which is DH help. So I definitely wouldn't be shocked at all to see him crack the roster. I think Ben Rice is going to be cracking the roster. I think he still has some options. So they may move him around back and forth a little bit just because he's got options and people like Peraza don't have options anymore. I don't think, anyway. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see. I'm happy for Dom. I'm really happy for him. It's a great story. I love JC Escarra. I hope he cracks the roster.
Thanks.
I think he's a great story and he's been amazing in spring. So we'll see what happens. I can't wait. 2 weeks to go. And I can't wait to watch the game today. Jason Dominguez is going to be back in the lineup. Ben Rice can be back in the lineup. So I hope, is the game today on TV?
I think
One
it
of
is.
them is there's two games on today.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a split squad
man.
situation.
Okay.
I'm checking my
Dang it.
Gotham Sports app right now.
That means probably not. Or
Yeah.
maybe one of them.
One of the games are on Gotham, are being televised on the Gotham Sports app.
Y'all, I love Jason Dominguez. I love him. But that outfield yesterday looked real good. Real good.
Erica, let's get your last take on Dom Smith, and then we out of here.
There's no denying facts. He's had a really good spring training. I just think it's funny that we went from why did we sign Dom Smith to this is our savior. Like we just went from Stanton, playoff Stanton to Dom Smith.
No.
Like we are scratching and clawing, man. But there's no denying facts. And if I was looking back at his stats a couple of days ago, and I'm like, he really did have like a 300. There was 2 years that he was like really good in the league. So the potential's there, and we're seeing it during spring training. But to Grace's point, I really like JC Escarra. He looks amazing. I hope that he wins the backup spot. But also when he is slotted in and to catch. And you can just put Austin Wells, if he still has the hot bat, into the DH spot. Like, the flexibility of DH, unfortunately, with Stanton going down, like, that sucks. But the flexibility of the DH is kind of nice to have back. So we'll just see how it works itself out in the next 2 weeks. And then, opening day. I can't wait.
Yeah. Same. When you look at Dom Smith, like you said, he's 30 years old right now, but the way that you would think he's a 25-year-old prospect that's on the rise, the way that I and some Yankee fans have been talking about him. But Dom Smith, again, he was a top prospect coming out of high school. The Mets drafted him out of high school. He was in the same draft as Aaron Judge, so there's that. Listen, whatever happens with Dom Smith, I'm here for it. I was always a Dom Smith fan when he was with the Mets. Shout out to my guy, Anthony Gallo, who as well, we was having a dope conversation about it. But It is what it is. The season is literally a few weeks away, right around the corner. It's March 11th right now. March 27th is when the season starts. We'll be back this Thursday. I'm flying out to Vegas this Friday for my girlfriend's birthday. So if anybody has any recommendations, I've never been to Vegas, so please shoot me some recommendations when it comes to Vegas out there. But until next time, guys, drink some water, say something positive. Make sure you guys go and follow That's Baseball Erica. Subscribe to her channel on YouTube. Follow her on Instagram as well. Follow Grace Monroe as well, one of the best co-hosts, if not the best co-host out there on the interwebs. Appreciate everybody in the chat.
All the co-hosts.
No, you specifically. Shout out to Anna Marie in the building, Gregory Rain, Eddie Snaps was in the building, big time Jerry Cadell, Rara. I appreciate Rara as well. The annoying troll from Texas, Sunil, how you doing? Anthony Medina, I appreciate you, Anthony Medina. Who else we got up in here? We got a bunch of people up here. Tony 23 was in the building. I appreciate you, Tony 23. Ian in Hawaii. Ian Hawaiian. That's a okay suspect name, but shout out to you as well. Shout out to my guy Ghost in the building. Me and de la Isla Ghost was in the building. Sup everyone listening from work. Ghost, I appreciate you. Did you guys see the Juan Soto interview that came out? There was a podcast, that Los Abriandos podcast, a Dominican podcast. Amazing listen. I implore you guys to go listen. On my Instagram, I translated the videos with Juan Soto. First of all, with the whole, they asked him about the security guard situation. Juan Soto said that's false. I don't think if it was true, Juan Soto will come out there and say it's true. But Juan Soto put the rumors to bed, said no, nothing happened like that with the security guards and my moms. He gave Aaron Judge all the flowers in the world. He said Aaron Judge was the best teammate he ever played with, was the best teammate to have. And he said he had a great time playing alongside Aaron Judge. He says he has a great relationship with Aaron Judge to this day. So all those rumors about Aaron Judge and Juan Soto not getting along, Juan Soto put to bed those rumors. I implore you guys, go watch the podcast. If you want the translation for some of the videos, you can go on my Instagram account and see the translation up there. But until next time, I'm your guy, Hector.
I'm Grace Monroe.
I'm Erica.
This is Yankees Morning Brew. And until next time, you beautiful people, we are out of here.
You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.